Oh no. Why would you do that? Ah! What is going on, everybody? It's Kevin Vidini here for Superpower Review. Welcome back to the channel. Guys, today we're going to be doing something that I haven't done here on the channel before. I'm going to be reacting to comic books that are horribly signed. So we're looking at signatures that are smeared, smudged, or horribly placed as well. As you guys know, I love my signed comic books. This is a huge percentage of my comic book collection is getting my comic book signed by my favorite artists, favorite writers, or just a favorite team of comic book creators. So all these pictures that are shown on today's video, I want to thank you, the subscribers, because I put it up on social media saying that I wanted to react to some comic books that were badly signed. This was a show idea I had, and you guys were awesome to send an abundant amount of photos for me to react to. So I want to thank you guys for responding to my request on social media. If you're not following me on social media, you can go into this video's description down below, click on the link, KarateKevin67 on Instagram. So we're gonna get started here. Let's take a look at our first photo here. Oh, my heart. We're starting off with one of my favorite comic books. We have an ASM 300, first appearance of Venom, and I don't know what is going on with those signatures there. Those signatures look like Todd McFarlane's signature looks kind of fuzzy, but it's bled out. This is a nightmare, okay? If this was my book, I would be absolutely heartbroken. I own an ASM 300 that is signed by Todd and Stan Lee, also by David Michelini. It's so heartbreaking to see these signatures on this fantastic book, one of my favorite comic books. What do we got next? All right, we have a Absolute Carnage #1, CBCS graded at a 9.6. It looks like, oh, I see it. Okay, so we have Donny Cates signing this book. Yet again, we have probably a Sharpie marker that is just not doing the job. Rather, the marker is old and beat and doesn't have any more paint or ink inside of it anymore. But like I said, you can buy these Sharpie markers fresh right out of the package and they just don't work very well. And it also looks like that Ryan Stegman's signature has somewhat of the same problem. It's also really not well placed either. Like, there's just so much going on with this cover, right? I mean, there's not a whole lot of definition to it because it's just black and white. I don't think this was a really good color choice either. Again, sometimes you have the option to pick the color that you want your book signed by. I would have maybe gone with the red paint marker. I think that would have showed up better. It would have matched the title much better, but I don't know, those gold signatures are not doing it for me, especially with the marker being half dead. That looks bad, man. Awful. All right, so we have a Batman 608 here. This one doesn't look too bad. We got a Jim Lee signature in red. I see a Jeff Loeb signature in the corner there. But it also says it's signed by, oh, I see it now. Okay, so on the bottom here, oh man, this is really, really bad. We have an Alex Sinclair signature, and that is in silver. That's by Harley Quinn's leg there. It's like right on her knee. We're gonna show you guys a close-up photo of that. And again, this is not a good choice. Again, I know some of these signatures are at the person's discretion on who's signing them, but man, that you can hardly see that. That's pretty bad. You really, really have to look for that. That's some of the problems here that you see in some of the comic book market where it says it's signed and you're like, well, where the hell is the signature? where is this comic book signed? And then it's not well placed, or they didn't use a color that made it pop from the cover. And that's one of my big pet peeves about signed comic books. It's a personalized comic book. I want to see your signature. It should be able to pop from the cover. And man, that Alex Sinclair signature is just hidden. You can't see it. Like, where is it? So this is a Clayton Crane variant cover for Batman Who Laughs #1. This is done with a paint marker. And so paint markers can be a do or die situation. They rather sometimes don't give enough paint, or sometimes if you just press on the tip enough, on the nib, it just comes bleeding out. And trust me, it's happened to me so many times when I'm remarking comic books, or if I'm signing one of my art prints, I'll sign it in a paint marker and it's not coming out, and I'm like, damn it, what the hell, man? And then you go to push the nib a little too much and it just comes puking out of paint. So you can clearly see that's what happened here. The Crane side looks pretty normal, but the Clayton signature looks pretty grotesque. That looks pretty bad. That's pretty unfortunate. Next. This one yet again was submitted by my friend Burke Family 54 Comics. This one I think looks pretty cool. So what he told me was that he requested Clayton Crane to sign this comic book with the Cranebow signature. So Clayton Crane's signature. If you could pretty much say that, he does the rainbow signature. But Clayton Crane did not get that request or did not receive that request, and so he signed the comic book in green. So you can actually see an undertone of it. So Clayton Crane went over the green signature with some colorful paint markers to do the Cranebow signature, and that's your result. I actually don't think that looks too bad. I think that actually looks pretty cool. It kind of gives it a little bit of an undertone. That's just me. I don't know. But if it was to some other people, I'm sure they would get disappointed, like my buddy Burke Family 54 Comics. But if that was me, I wouldn't be too upset about it. Next. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, this is bad. This is so bad. Okay, so I don't know too much about Fantastic Four. This is a Fantastic Four issue number 5. If I'm not mistaken, this is the first appearance of Dr. Doom. So we have a comic book in a comic book bag. The person who wanted this book to get signed clearly had a comic bag window, so he had a spot that he wants Stan Lee specifically to sign. And I'm not sure if Stan Lee took the comic book out of the bag and signed where he wanted to, or if he signed it on the bag. Not 100% sure, okay? But as you can see, Stan Lee signed on Dr. Doom's face, which is awful, awful signature placement. So if he did sign on the bag, maybe he did this person a huge favor and this guy does not have a huge silver Stan Lee signature over Dr. Doom's face, which is his first appearance in comic books. He put on the comic book bag window as a note that he wanted him to sign in gold, and Stan Lee did even go with that request and sign the comic book in silver. That's probably one of the worst ones so far. Maybe. Next. This was sent in to one of the subscribers here. This is a Green Lantern number 3, Planet of the Apes. I don't know if this is a variant cover. I have no idea who this is signed by, but you can clearly see that there's a somewhat of a silver signature somewhat in the middle of the comic book there, and it's not readable. So again, these infamous Sharpie markers that are dead. Again, if anybody who's a comic book creator, or if you're facilitating signatures, just take the quick second, test out the damn marker first on a separate piece of paper, make sure that the marker is good, and then, use that marker. But nobody's thinking of these things, right? People are just there to sign. They grab a marker, any marker, and sign the damn book. Next. Well, I don't know what happened here, but that is absolutely awful. I mean, again, you hardly can see the signature. It almost blends in with the cover a little bit, and I have no idea who that's signed by. That is yet another really bad signature on a comic book. Next. All right, so this one is a Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy number 1. This is signed by Ryan Kincaid. Does anybody see the signature on this comic book? Let's zoom in. That's the signature right there. So we have, yet again, the infamous Sharpie marker that has gone dead or was out of the package, not super saturated with paint, and this is the result you get. That looks bad. That looks absolutely awful. Awful. Next. Get out of my face. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay. Yet again, Stan Lee's antics of signing comic books on the characters' faces. Oh, this is painful, man. This is tough to look at. We have, wait. hold on a second. Is that New Mutants signed twice by Stan Lee? Why is that? Why did he sign it twice? Okay, so we have, I don't know even where to begin. We have a New Mutants number 87, which is the first appearance of Cable. And we have a New Mutants number 98, which is the first appearance of Deadpool. So the New Mutants number 87 has 2 Stan Lee signatures for whatever reason. I have no clue. And one of them is over poor Cable's face, and the other one is on his hair. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I wonder if like Stan Lee like knew what he was doing, right, this whole time. Like I wonder if he was like bullying comic book nerds, like, I'm just gonna sign this on this character's face, and I just don't give a damn. I don't want to be at this con. This is what I get. This is what you get for me being at this con. I don't want to be at this con. I'm an old man. I want to retire. Boom, you get signed on the face. Bam, get out of here. Wow. Okay, and then again, you have the first appearance of Deadpool, and Stan Lee had all of that comic book cover to sign some other character's face that is really not useful. The most useful one is Deadpool's face, and he signed it right there. Awful. Get out of here. I can't look at it anymore. All right, this is a Paper Girls number 1. I know absolutely nothing about Paper Girls. I don't know the creative team on Paper Girls, but the signature that's right underneath Girls is a smudgy signature. Everything else looks pretty good. All the other signatures look okay. I don't know whose signature that is. If you know who it is, let me know in the comment section down below. So this is another thing that you have to be on the lookout for. If you get comic books signed, okay, you don't want to put them in the bag right away because the signature is still wet. You don't want to stack other signed comic books on top of each other, because then you'll get the residue of what's not dry yet on the back cover of the comic book, and then you're risking the signature on top of the comic book cover smudging like so. So again, if you're going to a con or if you're a facilitator, give the signature some time to dry out before you put it in the bag, or put anything on top of it. I mean, there should be nothing on top of comic books, period, other besides the bag. That's about it. Next. Okay, first question is why? I remember seeing this comic book when I was going for, when I was looking to upgrade my Spawn number 1, signed by Todd in a 9.8. I am going to assume here, or take a educated guess, that the person who owns this comic book made Todd sign the comic book in this fashion. I know Clayton Crane signs, in multicolors, and we call it the Cranebow. That works out perfectly. That looks pretty nice. This, on the other hand, does not. That looks absolutely atrocious. This comic book needs to be taken out of the case. It needs to be ripped. There needs to be gasoline poured all over it, and it needs to be burned and forgotten that it even existed in history. Next. Okay, so we have a Spider-Man number 1 here. This is my favorite variant. This is the silver variant. Looks like we have a Stan Lee signature on the bottom. It's in gold. I don't think that looks too bad. Oh, we have a Todd McFarlane signature on Spidey's knee. And so one signature I hate more than a T McFarlane signature is the old school Todd McFarlane signature. This is how he used to sign his comic books back in the day. It looks gross. I can't do it. I don't think this one's too bad. I think we've seen far, far worse so far. Next. Okay, this was submitted by my friend Asian Funk, who is also on YouTube. So he was going to a Stan Lee signing at a Comic-Con, and yet again, we've already seen it previously. He had a comic book selected for Stan Lee to sign, and Stan Lee completely ignored the comic book bag window. the clear as day blue tape with the arrows pointing, hey, sign right here. And Stan Lee did not sign it where he wanted it placed. But we also, you know, if you know a little more about Stan Lee, you know toward the end Stan Lee wasn't doing well. He should have definitely not been doing cons anymore at this point. I can tell by the signature. It's one of his last Stan Lee signings. It's kind of messy. It's all over the place. I mean, he had his facilitator by his side telling him how to sign his name. It got really, really bad. So this is proof right here that Stan Lee should have not been at this con. He should have been fully retired and not doing any signings. This one is really bad, but it's also very comedic. My friend Asian Funk told me that after he got this this comic book bag signed, somebody offered him, I believe, $150 or $200 to buy that off him, which I think is absolutely insane. Next. Okay, we have a Thor number 165. CGC graded a 9.0. Oh, geez. Okay, I found the signature. Okay, so we have a silver signature here. If this marker was, you know, not dead or dying, this would have been a really nice looking signature. But yeah, that's a really bad Stan Lee signature, man. That this person was cursed. Next. There you go, classic Stan Lee signing on Wolverine's face. We even have Frank Miller signing on Wolverine's face. Frank Miller does that a lot too, actually. Frank Miller has an act of signing on the characters' faces. You know, again, you have all of this comic book cover, all this room to sign someplace else, but they just want to sign on the face for some reason. I don't get it. I'm not sure who it is. I think it's Len Wein or Rubenstein, but sometimes they sign on the claws. I like that. I like seeing that. I think that's pretty cool. But on the face, come on, not the face, people. Next. Okay, we have a Wonder Woman number 50. This is pretty impressive. This is signed by Gal Gadot, but I mean, it would be more impressive if the marker was actually working and signed nicely by Gal Gadot. But I do have to say, though, right, that you know, the Wonder Woman logo on the comic book is, you know, it's kind of roughed up, it's edgy. The signature actually kind of matches the logo. You know what I mean? It's dark, it's rough, you know, it's kind of edgy looking, so maybe the signature is meant to match the logo. That's what I'm going with. Next, that one's pretty bad. Oh boy. This is an Amazing Fantasy number 15. This is the very first appearance of Spider-Man in comic books. This book is graded at a 6.0. What are we talking about? Maybe in today's market, maybe a $70,000 comic book? Possibly without the Stan Lee signature. This poor guy, man. Oh, the feelings for this guy. This guy had Stan Lee, the creator, the co-creator of Spider-Man, to sign this comic book. And what does Stan Lee do? He does what Stan Lee does best, and he signed it on Spider-Man's face. Atrocious, people. Oh, that one hurts, man. That one hurts so bad. I wonder if this person's, like the original person, still has this comic book. Maybe he's not as bummed out about it, seeing how this comic book has gone nuts in the comic book market. I think a 3.0 sold for like 40 grand last week. So this book has been on the rise, but man, Stan Lee, again, you had all of this cover, right? And you signed it on Spider-Man's face. All right, guys, so that was the last one. We're going to end it here. Let me know in the comment section the worst signed comic book that you saw in today's video. Don't forget to smash that like button on your way out, and don't forget to click on that subscribe button as well. Click on that bell so you can get notified when I post new content. Again, I'm going to be uploading a video very, very soon of all of the things that you can possibly win in our future giveaway. You guys do not want to miss it. Lots of comic books, lots of comic book accessories, posters, art. Again, you do not want to miss it. So make sure you guys click on that subscribe button. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for today's video. I'm Kevin Vidini for Superpower Review, and I will see you guys next time.